Thanks very much. Thank you.
This is kind of an alien song, but
I'm a master of disguise, a mystery in your eyes, traveling the back roads of your country. in my eyes.
Rock and roll, I think.
What does love have to? Where does it go to? Well, out of my door. How much have you got? Is it enough for me? Or would I want more? Oh, oh, oh. You wanna have fun? Oh, oh, oh. I'm trapped between the fire and the man with a gun. Out in the city, filled with self-pity, I'm taking the air. Somebody hits me here in the city, I swear I just won't care. Oh, 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 you wanna be free. Oh, 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 I'm trapped between the devil and the deep blue sea. In the city, I'm filled with self-pity. I'm taking the air. Somebody hits me here in the city. I swear I just won't care. Oh, oh, oh. You wanna have proof? Oh, oh, oh. I'm trapped like a cat on a haunted roof. Oh, oh. You wanna have proof? Oh, oh, oh. I'm trapped like a cat on a haunted roof. Oh, I've got to have proof. Oh, give me some proof. Oh, got to have proof. Oh, give me some proof. Oh, got to have proof. Oh, give me some proof. Oh, got to have proof. Oh, give me some proof.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
song's called Hard Times.
Even the wall from the door. How can I stay sober? They're helping me for more hard time. Yeah, the sugar hit hard time. Was it all you got in your pocket? Sitting on Capitol Hill, you know there's violence in that bunch. I still can't pay the bills. Hard time. Take the shutter, it's hard time. For the dollar you got in your pocket, and don't be the dad when you got
Thank you.
Had enough of this strange affair. We tried so hard but we got nowhere. You drag me down, what you doing it for? I can't handle it anymore. Oh, why don't you hear me? This information is just for free. I'm telling you like I know I should. I've heard but you can't see the blood. Well, I must have been mad. Went to the doctor, I felt so bad. Yeah, I must be insane. You turn me over again. Had enough of this strange affair. Make you see that you just don't care. You've been fooling around for too long. That ain't the way to be carrying on. Well, why don't you hear me? This information is just for free. Well, it's over, tears I have cried. Strange affair is a thorn in my side. Well, I must have been mad. Went to the doctor, I felt so bad. Yeah, I must be insane. Turn me over again and again. For this strange affair, I was a victim of a love so rare. Told me lies and betrayed my trust. Feel like a sucker with a teenage crush. Oh, why do you keep leading me on? Don't you know you've been doing me wrong? Well, your best friend confirmed my words there. Should've known it had to end in tears. Well, I must have been mad. Went to the doctor, I felt so bad. Yeah, I must be insane. They turn me over again and again. Well, I must have been mad. Went to the doctor, I felt so bad. Yeah, I must be insane. They turn me over again and again. Turn me over.
Thanks very much, folks.
We're in the year of 98 or 99, and you were about to release an album called Bare Bones, which is basically an acoustic album with just a little bit of electric guitar. 4 new songs, and the rest would be remakes. So my first question, of course, is why an acoustic album?
Well, again, it gets down to to what was going on in the greater music industry at the time. We were in that period of unpluggedness. People were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, Nirvana. I'm not sure Eric Clapton had huge. I mean, a lot of bands were doing that. MTV had the unplugged thing.
Definitely, yeah.
And you know, I mean, in a way, you know, with rock music, I mean, everything had been done, and I think the unplugged thing for a lot of bands was a huge release and a huge relief, and we just wanted to join the party, basically. And
so it was just a quick thing, picking some songs, but still you wrote 4 new songs.
We put some new songs together, but I mean, it was really like the instrumental album that we did, Nouveau Cause, in as much as take the foot off the pedal for a little bit, take the pressure off, just play for the fun of playing, and that's kind of what we did. We produced this album in Connecticut, where I live, and the guys came over there. Ray was back in the band.
By the way, Ray Weston was back on the
came
drums,
back, you know. And we went up there and we just did this very organic sounding album that we finished it in London, in Willesden, in a studio in Willesden. And we just wanted to, or I specifically really wanted to get that kind of show some more light on the soul of Wishbone Ash. And really, I mean, a song, for example, Living Proof, one of my favourite Wishbone Ash songs. It's an out-and-out rocker. We did it almost as a south of the border thing, you know, and just experimented with the acoustic instruments, mandolin, acoustic guitars. Ray was playing the brushes, very light drumming, and
I think it's a really very good album. I really like that album.
Thank you.
Pretty much. By the way, it's the first one to feature Bob Skeet on the bass guitar and a certain Mark Birch on the guitar and on the vocals.
Yes.
How did they join the band, by the way?
Well, you know, I had this kind of brain fart, I suppose. We met this producer called Mike Bennett, and he was the common bond between myself, Mark, and Bob. And Mike was producing a lot of dance music, and somehow he got in touch with me and said, "Hey, how would you like to do some dance albums?" Well, my youngest son, he was listening to nothing but dance and trance and God knows what, and I was being bombarded with this stuff at home, and clubbing thing was very popular. So on the one hand, you've got this acoustic music, then you've got this trance, and anyway, I was listening to this stuff. I think Jeff Beck had actually done one.
I never heard that.
And Clapton, I think, had done a soundtrack with some techno stuff. And I
Gary Moore did one, I remember.
Yeah. So I always thought this would be a side project, and it definitely is a side project. We did 2 or 3. We did Psychic Terrorism, Transvisionary.
Yeah, there's that extra disc, I think, Club Visionary.
Yeah, with
kind of remix album,
mutating, which is really the essence of that kind of music. You can just keep remixing it forever. And in fact, on our last album, we did almost a dance, a bonus track on the last album we did, the
Elegant Stealth.
Which was
Reason to Believe was remixed. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, but I mean, these albums were done very quickly. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I needed the bass reinforcing on some of the songs, and that's how I was introduced to Bob Skeet through Mike Bennett, the producer. And then in turn, Bob introduced me to Mark. I said, we're going to do a tour, and I'm going to revamp this band yet again, and can you recommend someone? But he recommended Mark, and I got together with Mark, and you're right, he was very much younger than myself, but wonderful guy.
Absolutely.
With great music,
player,
great musicality.
Yeah,
and
wonderful vocalist, by the way.
Very good. Yeah, I miss his vocals. I do.
He was very good.
I really miss Mark's vocals.
And honestly, you had a couple of real great standout vocalists that usually only did one album with a band, but he's the one that still had the Wishbone Ash sound, and I think
he really did.
That was a good one, really.
Yeah, he could do Martin better than Martin.
Definitely.
I mean, just for fun. I mean, at the end of the Bare Bones album, we thought that we'd cover Everybody Needs a Friend, and we were going to do it acoustically. In the end, I just said, sod it. Let's just record it as it was, but maybe a little bit better. And I put a killer guitar solo on the end of it, which I mean, I didn't think I could best the original guitar solo, but I think in a way I did.
Way more on the spot, definitely.
Yeah, and then Mark did an incredible job. He really got to the soul of the song, and
sadly they screwed up the credits in the booklet. It says lead vocals Andy Powell.
Did you say that? I didn't know that.
I didn't believe that. It doesn't sound like Andy. They screwed it up, really.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's obvious it's Mark, and it's
Mark's
tremendous work.
He's a great ballad singer, you know. I mean, he can. One of his favourite bands was Radiohead, which is a bit odd because, I know, but you never know. But anyway, so that was a great band. I mean, that was a fun time. The four of us, Ray on drums, and we did some serious touring together, and we
very
really,
good lineup. The first one that I saw, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is that we all got on really well. It was a fun time, and I put those guys through some horrendous tours. I mean, we did tours of the States where we were in little vans and going through unbelievable weather conditions. I mean, this was trial by fire, and they did not crumble, and I was really proud of that band. I mean, there were some moments where we were driving across the entire Canadian continent on a tour called Total Recall. That was a fun tour, but we certainly did a lot of work. We did a lot of festival work as well, which was nice.
I think it's well known that I'm a big fan of Bob Skeet's playing, and as a person as well. And I think it's really interesting to see when Bob did his first shows with a band, he absolutely looked like a studio session guy. He did not look like a live musician at all.
Right.
And that very quickly changed.
It's
really very interesting to see. And he's been with the band for 16 years. I mean, it's a very long time, and he's very, very constant and
he's
important
really
member of the band.
He's really probably the most stage. He probably performs more than any of us on stage in a way. I mean, he's the
nowadays he does.
His signature thing is the smiling Bob Skeet. He's always got the smile. But you're absolutely right. When he, I think he really flowered in this band, and I think that Bob really was looking for a band like this, a real band, an organic band, a band with some heart and soul that he could really stretch out on pace. I first met Bob actually. He played an opening act for us. We played at the Town and Country Club in London. He was playing in the band of a friend of mine, Ashley Griggs, and that's where I first noticed his bass playing. And I thought, Ashley, that guy's really good. That guy really can lay
absolutely
it down.
Relaxed. No, that's not technique. That's just his body. That's his personality.
Yeah. He's a natural. I mean, Bob's. I said it in a blog this week. There's no other bass player I'd rather be playing with. I mean, he's great.
Yeah,
so and if Bob was going to recommend a guy to go to work with me on guitar, I was going to be listening, and that guy was Mark Birch, and I got nothing but the greatest respect and memories from that period of working together. You know,
he was the best point about Mark, aside from his amazing vocals, I think, was that he was pretty close to the original. He could sound like Laurie, he could sound like Ted. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
and that's the sad point about it, that there's no real studio album with Mark, because I would like to have heard how he sounded himself.
Well, you never know. There could be. I mean, you're right. He primarily played a Stratocaster, although he would play a Les Paul and that was always an element that was intrinsic to the sound of Wishbone. There was always a Stratocaster somewhere in the sound of Wishbone Ash.
Yeah.
And Mark nailed that, definitely.
Very good, really good. What led to the choice of the songs, of the old songs that you reworked?
Well, I was really looking for songs that would lend themselves to an acoustic approach. You know, I mentioned Living Proof.
Interesting. Totally different from the original.
There was a song on there that was a huge favourite of myself and my wife when we were dating, when we were in our teens, and that was a song that we'd heard covered by Gary Farr and the T-Bones. I later found out it was a Solomon Burke song, and that was Won't You Give Him One More Chance. And that song is on that album.
That's a nice one.
Ironically, just as we were mixing that album, I heard Robert Cray. Somebody said, Robert Cray's done that song. I was like, oh no! I thought that was a real, like, esoteric, obscure song, but he found it too. So there must be something about that song.
That's a very good one, really.
Yeah, it was, and I kind of get into a bit of a soulful sort of vocal thing on that. So I was starting to become a bit more confident as a vocalist. But I think Mark and I pretty much shared the vocals on the album.
There's a lot of twin vocals as well, yeah. And he does that wonderful song, You Won't Take Me Down. I think that's written by Mike Bennett. Not a dance song at all. It's amazing song.
Yes, it's a great song.
Absolutely.
It's a fabulous song, yeah. Very dark and moody, yeah.
And
I mean, as far as choosing the songs that we did, remind me, hit me with a couple of songs from that album.
Definitely there's Wings of Desire, which is probably the
That's an obvious. That's an obvious.
Better than the original.
In a way, I think so. Yeah, because it was written on an acoustic guitar in the first place in my kitchen in the farm. So to record that one was a no-brainer to make that an acoustic.
You did Master of Disguise as well.
Again,
brilliant.
Another song that was really crying out to be done in that kind of organic acoustic thing. And the girlfriend of my young son, my middle son at the time, Morwenna, she played the fiddle on that, and I always wanted to be playing at some point with a fiddle player, and I've realised that quite recently on the last couple of albums. But Morwenna was the first one to debut on fiddle on a Wishbone Ash album.
Interesting. That's really very fitting to that overall sound of the album. A very strange remake is Hard Times. I mean, it was a straight 4/4 song in the original. I think you changed it to 6/8, whatever that's in English. It was different feel.
I'm not sure it entirely worked. I'm not sure.
To be honest, I'm not sure as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting if you know the original.
Yeah.
But as a standalone track, I would always go with the original.
Right.
Definitely,
I think you're right. Yeah. I think that probably worked. That was one of the least successful remakes on the album.
Very interesting is that Claire Hamill was featured on the album.
Well, Claire we kept in contact with, and she came and added her part, and that was great.
On Love Abuse.
That was a good song.
I personally must confess I'm not the biggest fan of that song.
Well, I like the line. Let's just put it.
Yeah, the title is amazing, and it was written by Powell Weston. That's interesting to mention.
Yeah.
So anyway, nice album, very good album, and opportunity enough to record an album called Live Dates 3. And there was a 30th anniversary DVD to follow quite shortly after the album. That personally, Live Dates 3 is one of my favorite memories of Wishbone Ash. It was maybe the first one that I bought myself. I really don't remember. That's a very, very, very underrated live album featuring Mark Birch again on a couple of vocals. Really good. I think the band was really good. Not denying that the band got better later again, but still I think that was maybe Illuminations was the bang that led to the rebirth of Wishbone Ash. This for me is really the new Wishbone Ash. It's not a new band, but that was the Wishbone Ash was back where it belonged.
I think as when we first formed Wishbone Ash, the key ingredient to that was road work.
Yeah.
Because Illuminations started it. But it was consolidated, with the Bob Skeet, Mark Birch lineup, and what really sets the stage is the road work. You cannot beat being in a band, getting out there on the road, and just thrashing out rock music, and then if you go into the studio after that, as we did on this most recent album, Blue Horizon. You'll find that you'll sound pretty good because you're road tested.
Definitely.
There's nothing like getting out on the road and playing one-nighters. You can't beat it.
Definitely, yeah. The vocals question would be, that was the last album where you really had like two lead singers in Wishbone Ash. How did you decide which would be your songs and which would be the songs that Mark sings?
Well, range,
even in the live situation, the same question.
Yeah, range is part of it. I mean, I've always kind of erred towards a bluesier style of vocal, which some people like, some people don't. but it is an important element in Wishbone Ash, always has been. Mark had a high tenor voice, more akin to Martin Turner's original vocals approach. And in rock music, high tenor voices are always very popular. I mean, that's what's going to get you a hit record on the radio.
Yeah,
it didn't so much in our case, but certainly Mark had that. So it was obvious where, you know, if we would do harmonies, he would probably take the higher one. My voice was dropping a bit. It's really dropped these days. I mean, you know, in my later years, my range is more powerful, lower. I mean, when I was a kid, it was higher, but
I think you got a bigger range than ever before. I mean, you can hear that on the later albums. Then.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been working it.
I guess so. Yeah, definitely. When you recorded the album, was that kind of recording the basics like a live band?
The bare bones?
Bare bones.
Yeah, the basics were done exactly like a live band. We went into a friend's basement studio in Connecticut. We had a great engineer, I must confess, who captured the sounds live. But yeah, it was done right
because
there.
That got that feeling that you only get when you play together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there were minimal overdubs, really.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, you got the additional instruments like percussions and harmonica and stuff, fiddle.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's one sad aspect about that whole entire album. It was the last thing to feature Mark Birch. He left, I don't remember when it was, 2001, I think.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, Mark, you know, as with Tony, I mean, these are younger guys starting a family. And he became hugely interested in computers. And I think the geek in Mark won out. And he decided to throw his lot with computers and and programming.
I mean, it's a steady job for a family father.
Especially at that time, it was huge opportunity for him. So I don't blame him at all. And as I said earlier, I put the guy through some terribly grueling tours that he always came up from smiling.
Yeah.
But you know, when you start to sort of get a family and responsibilities come on. I mean, maybe the life of a traveling musician is not the greatest life.
Not when you're raising kids, of course.
No,
I mean,
definitely not.
But it seems to work in your case.
Well, in my case, I had some glory years there where the finances were able to cushion things in as much as I was able to bring my family on the road with me.
Of course. Did you write any songs when Mark was still in the band? For a new studio album. Was there a plan for a real studio album, by the way?
You know, I can't say as there really was, because we were just so busy touring that we never took the time to have those kind of... I regret that, actually. I wish we had taken more time where we had just, instead of rehearsing for tours, that I mean, I think You Won't Take Me Down is one song that really shows that we could have done that a lot more.
Definitely.
You know?
I mean, it's like a nice cliffhanger for the next interview section, which is going to be on the Bonafide album, because that one came out really quickly after the lineup change, but you got to buy the album to hear that, actually. Thanks for talking.
My pleasure.